the merciless queen who fed her rivals to the swans. They say the lake still whispers her name, and if you listen closely at dusk, you might hear the flapping wings of the swans and the cries of those who never returned. In the shadowy forests of eastern Elzoria, nestled between snow-capped peaks and glacial lakes, there stood the glimmering court of Queen Alsbeta the Radiant, a name she chose herself. Alsbeta was born on February 6, 1442, under a rare lunar eclipse, to Duke Stephen of Elzoria and his second wife, Countess Irina of Vashkar. From a young age, Alsbeta was described as unnervingly beautiful but cold as ice. Her mother once claimed she'd never cried, even as a babe. Educated in Latin, warfare and court manipulation, she ascended the throne in 1463, after her elder brother died in a mysterious boar-hunting accident. Whispers spread, but no one dared challenge her. She was 21, unmarried, and already terrifying. The centerpiece of Alsbeta's royal estate was Lake Naira, a pristine, shimmering body of water behind the palace that was home to a majestic flock of royal swans. Legend claimed the lake had once been a battlefield, cursed by a dying witch whose blood tainted the waters. Swans brought there grew unnaturally large, fiercely territorial, and eerily intelligent. Queen Alsbeta adored them. She named each one after the 7 deadly sins and fed them with her own hands daily. Foreign dignitaries found it odd, until the rumours began. Alsbeta's biggest political rival was Lady Vera of Dresden, a noblewoman with a strong claim to the throne through a marriage pact with the House of Velen. After a fiery exchange in court over border disputes, Lady Vera mysteriously disappeared. Days later, a servant reported hearing laughter from the Queen's chambers and seeing swans circling the lake, blood on their beaks. That summer, 4 more noblewomen vanished, all of whom had questioned Alsbeta's reign. But the Queen dismissed the rumours with a cold smile and said, "Perhaps they sought the peace of nature. The lake is very welcoming." The truth, as later uncovered in 1476 by a surviving maid named Clara, was horrifying. Inside a hidden passage near the lake, Alsbeta had created a torture chamber that funneled into the Swan Lake. Rivals were chained, flayed and flung, bleeding and broken into the water. The swans, trained to frenzy at the scent of blood, did the rest. By now, even the highest nobles could no longer ignore the disappearances. A royal inquest, led by the newly crowned Archbishop Petras of Lurev, gathered testimonies from former staff. Clara, the maid, described in detail the process by which Alsbeta selected victims. Any woman more beautiful, more loved, or politically threatening. She told of Margravine Ilona, whose wedding dress Alsbeta had stolen before throwing her to the swans on the eve of her nuptials. Of Baroness Marta, who was forced to wade into the lake with raw meat tied to her limbs. Despite the damning evidence, Alsbeta refused to show remorse. She reportedly laughed during her sentencing, saying, "I gave them to the swans, and the swans gave me peace." She was declared insane and sentenced to lifelong imprisonment in her own palace, her windows bricked over and her meals slid beneath a steel door. In 1482, she vanished. No escape tunnel was ever found. Her guards swore she was still inside, but when the cell was opened, only her bloodied crown remained, placed neatly on the windowsill facing the lake. That winter, the swans left the lake and never returned. To this day, in the now abandoned ruins of Castle Nera, locals say the swans returned for her, that the Queen, so entwined with her birds of blood, had become one of them. The lake still shines, calm and silent, but no one swims there, not anymore.